Hey guys, Matthew here, and this is going to be a recap of day 3 of my Zero to Hero series. So a lot has changed since yesterday. We have gone from live version to low life version. We've killed basically every boss in the game outside of the feared, which we can do. It was just too expensive. So let's get right in. So let's first look at where progression looks like in terms of the Atlas and whatnot. So we've killed Cyrus Awakened level 5, which was the first thing I wanted to do before I started bossing. And now I'm in the process of basically starting to cheese my Atlas through the different watchstones for Maven and the invitations in order not to have to actually complete the storyline for the Conquerors. And instead, I'm going to fill up my Atlas with some watchstones like these. It doesn't matter what's on them. They're just going to give me Atlas bonus for free. Today what I'll be doing is I'm going to be getting this number way up because 48 is really low. So we're going to get to Awakener level 8 through these Maven Watchstones, of course, and we are also going to get probably about 100 or so, maybe over 100 Atlas completion. If we look at my map tab, it looks something like this. So there's a lot of maps that I need to do, and every single one of these maps for the most part are uncompleted. So yeah, I gotta go through and basically complete this as many as possible. Now, why do I need to complete this? It seems that, at least that's what was told to me by chat. It hasn't been confirmed. I'll be able to confirm it tomorrow. That the more bonus objective you have, potentially has a higher chance of dropping invitations. I've had people telling me they are basically nearly self-sustaining invitations by themselves. Meanwhile, I was nowhere near being able to sustain invitations by myself. I would go through 8 to 12 maps, like Guardian maps, and I wouldn't drop a single invitation. So, yeah. Now, I've unlocked the Uncharted Realms. We have gotten Maven down. We've gotten the Elder Guardian, Shaper Guardian, and also the Bridgestone invitation down. So we're missing the memory one, which is super duper easy. Actually, probably the easiest one out of all of them. And also missing the feared, which we're capable of doing, but again, it's a little bit expensive because Cortex is basically a pure loss right now due to the fact the flask is worth absolutely nothing. So that's pretty much going to be the goal for today, but the Sire skill was done on a 5 link. It took like 3 seconds, pretty much insta-phased them, so I'm not going to show that. But I do have a lot of clips to show you guys. I'll be talking over them, but there's some pretty cool stuff. Like, for example, 5 link Uber Elder on the live version, Maven on a 5 link on the live version, and then the Formed Rare on a 6 link on the low life version. And I'll be giving you guys a little bit of what I think in terms of how you'd go about this in a league start scenario anyways. But yeah, so that's pretty much our progress in terms of that. Now, in terms of currency, we are worth about 19x or so, 18x, 18.5x. So we haven't made that much progress, but we've been really unlucky. I did 2 of my own Mavens, which was like 7 exalt invested and got nothing back from it. And I did an Uber Elder, which also didn't drop me anything of value there. 2 of them actually, which didn't drop me anything of value. So a lot of currency there just wasted, but that's kind of like what happens with bossing, is that you just have to keep going until you get something to drop, right? Because you're making consistent currency off of everything else, but the big boy bosses, like right now, especially Maven, with the Crucible being, the Maven's Ritz being like 3.5x, it's pretty tempting to just sell it, especially when you're as poor as I am right now. But you know, we had a good time. We were basically limit testing with the character, so this is what our stash looks like. Again, we haven't made too much progress in terms of money. Today we're probably going to invest all these 5 exalts into Guardian maps, Shaper, and Elder, and then we're just going to blast invitations. I've learned that we can split invitations actually. In order not to have to buy them every single time. We can actually just buy split beasts and split them, which is pretty cool, because that allows us to get much easier access to the invitation instead of trying to buy them from other players all the time, and it's about the same price. Another thing is, in order to unlock the Uncharted Realms, you guys were actually right. The people in the comment section of the last episode, we do not need to have done a 10 boss fight. All we need to have done is an invitation. So until you do an invitation, you cannot do Maven, and you cannot do, for example, Uber Elder with Maven active on it. You have to do one of the 4 invitation, be it either the Breach, the Elder, or Shaper Guardians, or the Memory one. Once you've done a single one of those invitations, you're able to go fight Maven, and you're also able to start putting Maven on your Uber Elder, and all that much more endgame stuff. So that's pretty much what it looks like in terms of progress there and for currency. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some clips. They're muted. It's just for my stream from yesterday. So this is Maven on a 5-link. I'm not going to show you the whole fight because obviously Maven is a pretty long fight, but just so you guys can see the damage that we're doing. So this is the 5-link, like I said. Now the advantage of playing the low life version is that there's a lot less button to click. If you pay attention to my skill bars right now, I have to put Firewall myself, I have to put Orbstorms myself, and I have to put my Arcanist brand. So it's 3 buttons I need to put right on top of the boss before I can actually start doing damage every single time. So you'll see that I basically do a little bit of damage, but not much, because I was waiting for her to TP. Okay, so again, Flame Wall, Orbstorms, Arcanist brand, and now I'm going to start doing some damage. And the way the power class mine, the way it does a lot of damage is basically through the sequencing of your mines. So you got to sequence a lot of mines. So as you can see, she's already dead. Now we've got the middle guy, Brain Dude. So the Brain Dude goes down pretty easily. Memory game. Okay, this is phase 2. Phase 1, we did a lot of damage. Phase 2, we weren't doing as much, but it still was a pretty not too bad. We're actually fairly tanky. I was surprised with 5.4k life, we're actually able to face tank a lot of stuff. We can't face tank like a Cascade of Pain. We can't really face tank that. We could totally get her auto attack hits though when she just throws her like little purple thingy. That we can face tank pretty much. We can tank a lot of hits from the whenever this guy spawns a lot of monsters. Obviously it depends who he's spawning because he spawns a bunch of bosses. But yeah, so this would be the last phase. No, not yet. So I'll show you guys the last phase or the kill anyways. So let's get to that so you guys can see basically what it looks like at the end of it. Okay, so this is the last phase of the Nucleus guy. All right, he's down, and this is the last phase of Maven herself. So yeah, as you can see, our damage is pretty decent. Now it's pretty, dude, I was dancing with these little puddles of damage over time right there. I'm getting hit by a lot of stuff, but somehow we're actually tanking a lot of it. A lot of it comes down to the fact that on a miner we have quite a bit of regen because of our ascendancy. Now I hadn't seen it, but there was actually a degen thingy just in the middle, which was pretty yikes. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. So that's that. That's Maven on a 5-link on the live version, which was pretty decent. So I was pretty pissed or sad because this basically was not my Maven. This was a Maven's writ that was given to me by a viewer just so that we could test it because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. And then I dropped one, and then my own 2 Mavens I didn't drop one, which was pretty sad. But yeah, so Maven's orb right there. Now we have Uber Elder. I'll also do the same thing. I'm not going to show the whole fight, but just to showcase some Uber Elder action. Now, I know that I could download these and, you know, speak over it. It would be a lot better, but I don't know anything about editing. That's something I do need to sit down and learn at some point. But whatever. Just showing to you guys that it can be done. So just to show you guys the damage, right, if you do the entire setup. So again, Flame Wall, Orb Storms, and Arcanist brand. You'll see that the damage is pretty decent. The Shaper just got annihilated completely. So same thing with Elder, he pretty much got murdered. Then we're into the portal phase. Now this was actually with Maven on it, as you can see, but I got pretty lucky. She didn't give me the dupe. So when you do Uber Elder and you put Maven on it, sometimes she is going to double the bosses, and that makes it really difficult. Because you have like 2 sets of Shapers throwing balls at you, 2 sets of Shapers, you know, beaming you, etc, etc. It makes it really difficult, but this time she was just basically slowing me down and giving them speed boosts and regen and all that. And all of that was pretty easy. I think we died once or twice in this Maven, or sorry, in this Uber Elder. So it wasn't perfect, but a lot of it came down to just playing the fight pretty bad. Yeah, see, I died a few times. Took 4 portals, I think. Yeah. So the arena was getting pretty messed up by the end of it, but that was mostly due to Maven, to be honest. But yeah, 4 portals in order to get it down. So not too bad for a 5-link gaming on a Tremor Rod on the live version of the build. So this build, at this point, the build is worth still about an Exalt. It was the exact same build that I showcased in yesterday's episode, but yeah, about an Exalt. But at the start of a league, that build would have been worth about 2.5 Exalts, because obviously a Comb's Heart would be a little bit more expensive. The Tremor Rod would be a little bit more expensive, but it was still a 5-link, so very cheap. And the rest is still just a bunch of regular rares, which is just life and res. So again, pretty cheap. No special flasks or anything like that either. But that was Uber Elder, and then this is the Hidden. Now, the Hidden is one of the hardest invitation. I would argue it's probably harder than even the Feared. So this is a 64% quantity one, so nothing crazy on this one. The mods, basically, that you really don't want to mess with when it comes to invitations is AoE and attack and cast speed. So Turbo and AoE are the worst. You never want to do them. I was doing even the Shaper invitation, which is considered very easy. With attack and cast speed, Chimera is just so incredibly annoying. But in terms of, we did some testing. In terms of what we could and what we couldn't do, I was able to do all of the Shaper and Guardian invitations, and I would have been able to do the memory one as well if I did them white on the 5-link on the live version. I think I probably could have managed to do them rare if I had a 6-link, even on the live version, but it would have been pretty scuffed, because I would have gotten one-shotted, because it's not a tanky build at all. So I would have gotten one-shotted, and my damage would not have been that high, even with a 6-link on the live version. The low life version has around double the DPS, and since we get access to an extra 5-link, or potentially even an extra 6-link, probably something I'll be working on today is getting a 6-link Shavs as well. Then I can actually put on Flame Wall on my Arcanist brand, but I can also put Combustion so that I can drop Combustion for my links, and then I can use another link for damage like Trap and Mind damage instead. Now I'm actually using Fire Penetration because I'm using Wise Oak with Fire Pen. There's no real reason to use Combustion. At this point, if I was to use Combustion on the chest, I would probably drop the Wise Oak and instead go for a... I would imagine I would go for a Dying Sun, I think, because Dying Sun is crazy for this build. It's basically like a 20% more damage because it's 2 additional projectiles. So it makes it ramp up that much faster. But yeah, so when it comes to invitations, if you want to do them rare or rare corrupted, I tried to do it even on the low life version on a 5-link, and the damage was just not quite there to one-shot the bosses. So I decided to do a 6-link, and as soon as I put a 6-link on, it kind of became a joke. All the invitations became super easy, even the incredibly juicy ones, because I just insta one-pop the initial boss, like insta one-shot the first boss. So then after that, it's only 3 of them to deal with, and I have a lot of time in order I have a lot of time to kill the second guy. So you'll see, I go ahead and just kind of one-shot this guy. So he's pretty much dead already. It's not quite the one shot, but yeah, he's pretty much dead already, and then I'm able to focus on the other guys one at a time, kind of. I just gotta basically make sure that I'm using my Arcanist brand, you know, as much as possible. But as you can see, the bosses are going down very quickly. Now, at this point of the league, if this was a league start scenario, this would be a 6-link Tremor Rod, which is pretty expensive. I mean, a 6-link is worth like, what, like 6x or something at the start of the league? And then a 5-link Shavs, which would also be like 4 or 5x, or not 5x, like 4x. So we'd be looking at a build that would probably cost you about 15x at the start of a league in a league start scenario right now, to be able to do these rare invitations. Obviously, if you were played like a mechanical god, maybe you could get away with using a 5-link, but it was very difficult from my own testing. But yeah, about 15x to be able to do the hardest bosses in the game, the hardest invitations in the game. At this point, this build is capable of doing everything in the game outside of 100% Delirious. I don't think I would be able to do 100% Delirious, just because I would lack survivability more so than damage. The damage is there, let's just put it that way. The damage at this point is something like 20-30 million or something. It's pretty ridiculous when you have everything up, and you have the Arcanist brand, and you have Valor F, and you have, you know, all your flasks and all that. The damage is nuts. So even for the feared, like I'm probably going to be trying a feared today once I have a little bit more currency, and I'll basically update to you guys tomorrow on how the feared went. But for example, the Breach Invitation, I think this was even deathless. It might have been, or I got killed. No, I got killed by Ash, right? Yeah. Ash is incredibly annoying in this specific invitation. But yeah, so that's pretty much how that went. That's pretty much going to be it for the update today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be catching you guys in tomorrow's episode. Before I go, I do want to say a huge thank you to my supporters. Jordan, Lost with a Map, Cremis, So Nice, Flame Scorpion, Nathaniel, Richard, JW Player, Scott, Youngby, Tuck Tuck, Michael, Ashley, Pavloms, Cool, Keebs, Marcus, Justin, Matt, Kevin, Powell, Mercury, Ethan, Citri, Jared, Axel, and Acid. As well as huge thank you to Phenom and Trevor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.